Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you're tuning in from, and happy Halloween. We are, well, I love this time of year. I guess I don't, we're going to figure out if Ian loves this time of year, but I'm excited for the day, and then we'll get into what we used to do, what we now do, what we like, what we don't like. But Ian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a beautiful day out here. We went. Oh, I hit my desk again. I'm about to break things, and we were about 30 seconds into this. No,
39
it's
to be exact.
oh wow, man, I'm good. No, I mean it's a fantastic day outside. It's like 60 some degrees, so we went for a little walk around the lake this morning, and then I came back to do some chores around the house. So yeah, kind of boring. But I mean, the leaves are starting to change. The weather's cooling off. I can comfortably wear jeans and a sweatshirt all day long. That's what I'm here for. That's what I love. That's my favorite thing about this time of year. And yeah, I do love fall the best just because of all the pretty colors, and Halloween is definitely a nice little bonus for all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that around here there's a ton of different trees, so it's just a sea of green, orange, yellow, and red anywhere you go. It's one of the most beautiful locations, like just for a daily commute that I've ever had. And I also love fall because I'm not a fan of warm weather, so gets into the cooler weather, get to celebrate my birthday. But I wish this 60-degree weather was like beginning of September instead of it being 80 all month. But the weather is your segment, and I won't get into that too much.
Yeah, that's true. But at least all the bugs go back to hell where they belong. They can stay away once the weather cools off. Because, oh God, mosquitoes and hornets and wasps and all that, get out of here.
Right
This is
now
the cool
we're
time of year.
right now we're dealing with ladybugs, and I don't know why they're getting in now or how they're getting in. But anyways, moving on to what we're recording, which is Halloween. Ian,
Spooky season.
would you like to start with stuff you like or don't like, or if you got any Halloween stories?
Well, I'll just start off and say that I know Halloween is done differently all around the country. And not like so vastly different that nobody knows what I'm talking about, but just for those out there from maybe more temperate climates who are not used to cold weather down into the negatives like we are here up in the north. I remember Halloweens where we used to have to, fit the costume over top of a snowsuit because it had been snowing already. And so, now there's like half a foot of snow on the ground, but we're still going to go out and trick or treat and get that darn candy. And so, I would say that I feel like in recent years it's gotten warmer and warmer and warmer on Halloween to the point where it's like I never see people even worry about getting snowsuits out now by the time Halloween rolls around, which is just feels weird to me because it's like I remember being a kid growing up and it was like you looking like Ralphie's brother from A Christmas Story. I can't move my arms.
I can't put my
Just
arms down. Uh,
ah!
but I
Fall over, can't get back up.
but I was gonna add to that. I think it was either last year or I think it was 2 years ago when I took the kiddo out, and it was like 40 degrees. It was within the last 2 years. It was 40 degrees. It was freezing. Then the other time within the last 2 years, it was like 60 to 70. It's like
Nice and comfortable.
what?
What is happening? Well, and you know what the other weird thing is too? And I thought of this too when you mentioned talking about Halloween, is that apparently a lot of one of the more popular things to do these days is trunk or treat.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yep.
actually going door to door, they do trunk or treat. I'm still not entirely sure what that is. Is that quite literally just like, from my understanding, people just go meet up in a parking lot and you fill your trunk full of candy, and then kids just do a little one slap around the parking lot and get their candy that way. Is
Yeah.
that what that is?
I haven't been a part of one yet. I'm sure I will for one or two this year. But yeah, essentially it's that. Um, I know this local school does it, but yeah, whoever wants to participate, they basically give candy out of the trunks of their vehicles instead of going door to door. So like everyone just meets up, you can get all your candy right away. But I do know a lot of kids who still will go trick or treating, like they'll go to trunk or treat. I think it's more for like really little kids. Just I don't know, just because
Okay,
they
walking around out in the dark. Well, because I was gonna
but
say I think that is bullshit. One of the staples this Halloween is getting to go out door to door, trick or treat, and actually getting your candy that way. Because you'd always get the one house. Oh, would you kids like an apple? No, I don't want a damn apple. I can see the Kit Kats back there. I want the Kit Kats.
I think it's
But
more
what?
just because they're I want to say attention span, but like having your 2 year old for 2 hours, he's crabby, he's tired, he wants to go home, but you have your older kids that still want to go. I think it's more for them so they can just get all their candy and it's quick. Then they can go home, get them into bed at a decent time. But like I said, I see a lot of people do trunk or treat, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the houses on top of that.
Actual trick or treating now. And I mean, granted, I guess if you've got a difficult way to get out trick or treating, trunk or treating or whatever is a good alternative to that. And yeah, for young kids, I can see it, but it just seems like every year more and more I see more people are blah, blah, blah. More and more people are doing trunk or treat where it's like, all right, there, just go run, fill up your bag full of candy and get back. And it's like, okay, no, 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 no. The candy is a nice bonus to Halloween. But the whole point is that you get to go out and see all these cool decorations that people put up, and you got to panhandle door to door like you're a hobo traveling down the road trying to get his next meal. Please, sir, may I have one more of the Snickers? They're not even the king size; they're the snack size. Please, one more. And that's the best part of Halloween is going door to door to do that. So I don't mind the trunk or treat. I just think I see a trend of it's like killing the actual trick or treat business of door to door, and I hope that is not the case. I hope people continue to do the whole door to door thing.
Speaking of trick or treating, might as well ask this question, and we can both answer it. What What are some of the things you went as trick or treating, and did you go in a group? And do you still dress up?
Dress up, yes, yes, I do. I'd say as a kid, God, I was not a particularly imaginative kid. So oftentimes I would dress up in like green, have like my little soldier's uniform or
Oh,
whatever,
yep, I can see that. I can see that.
my little marshmallow gun. One year, I know I went as Darth Vader, but I didn't have a red lightsaber, so I had to use a blue one and pretend that he was Anakin, but yet also Vader at the same time. And most of the time that I went, it was just me and my good buddy. We would meet up, and then you'd go out to the town, you go around, go trick or treating, do your thing, and then get back. And like different costumes every year, but nothing like really wild or extravagant. You're pretty you're pretty basic Walmart brand scream mask
Mm.
with the little fake pump, so it's got the red water that's supposed to look like it bleeds, but it never really works right. So instead you just kind of have this mask that looks like you spilled Kool-Aid on your mouth when you tried to take a drink and you didn't wipe it off. You know what I'm talking about. You know what
Yep,
I'm talking
I
about.
I do. We had one.
And just this past year, actually, is my first year staying home and actually getting to hand out candy. So I dressed up as Shaggy from Scooby Doo because I have that look pretty well. This green shirt had like these like maroon, brown, red pants. And then when people open the door, and I'd be like Happy Halloween, like have a groovy one, and just handing out the candy. So that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I still have not handed out Halloween candy like in my own home. I did it a few times at my parents' place when I lived there. But just how this place is set up, it's weird. It's not right right by the streets where I'm in an
It's
apartment
easy access,
building.
yeah.
But I think growing up, think I went as a ninja like 5 times growing up. I,
That's
I
a
know
classic.
I know I was a firefighter one year. When I was a little bit older, I went like as a ghostly rock star and I used a Guitar Hero guitar that I carried
That's
around.
awesome.
And I would go in my hometown and my two cousins would come to town and go with me, so we hit every house in town. We would always start at our
All
grandparents'
10 of them.
house. The pretty much. We would start at my grandparents' house, and they each had individual bags for all their grandkids. So we got our goodie bag from our grandparents, and then we kind of went around and did all the houses. And
And then you guys would meet up, exchange costumes, and then go back around. And no, I'm a different kid. See, different, similar costume to one you saw. That's cool. No, I'm totally different. I
well,
promise.
it's different when you're related to half the town. It doesn't work out that well. They know you.
Yeah, right. I know this trick. Get on out of here. Yeah,
uh,
I'd say the past year and this year for Halloween, it's because we live kind of right on one of the main streets here in town was sort of the big reason we got as many trick or treaters as we did. I think last year maybe had. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired already.
Old
Ugh,
man.
I know. Gosh, I'm going down. I'm gonna have to take a nap. I think we had like 50 some kids last year, so not too bad. But one thing I know is this: no matter how much candy you buy, you will never be right on the money. It will always be way too much or
Yep.
not nearly enough.
Yeah, I think it was last year. Like we were going to houses at like 5:30, and people were already running out of candy and having to go get some or just stop entirely. I was gonna add, growing up trick or treating, there was one house in town where someone was on stilts and in a big costume. You couldn't see him, and he had like a machete, like a fake one, but he would just slowly hobble over to you.
Oh,
So
that'd be terrifying
it
as a
was like
child.
10 foot tall. And what my parents started doing, like I think when I was in junior high, like don't have to worry about us because we've done it enough and old enough. They would dress up in like full costumes, like masks, everything, and just sit outside. My dad would barely say anything, and they would always crack the garage door just slightly, and they'd have scary music playing from the garage every year.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, the music was pretty terrifying.
That's how you really sell it. You got to get the atmosphere down to really get the scares in, you know. That's where the fun comes from cuz you know, you don't see too often anymore. You don't see people really getting in the scary garb to scare the crap out of people now. You know, that's sort of just left to the decorations. Like just this other past weekend, we went up to Fargo and we were looking around Spirit Halloween because we got our costumes for this year. Which this year we are going as the Flintstones for our Halloween party next weekend. So you know we were going up just looking at any cosmetic extras, something we might want to get for our costumes. You know, we decided to go simple this year, and of course, my girlfriend she wants to take me around and go to all the little animatronic things and step on the buttons and have them do their movements. And
That's me.
one of them freaking got me because she went up and she stepped on the button and it like didn't do anything. And I'm like, oh, maybe that one didn't work. And it was on a delay. And then it popped up and it spread its arms real wide. And I jumped back because I hate the jump scare ones, man. I have a weakness for jump scares. They get me. I'm high strung. You make my heart have palpitations when you do that. You can't do that. It scares the crap out of me. So yeah, yeah, there was that one now, but yeah, you don't see too many people like actually committing to the bit of trying to be scary. I think most people just leave that to the animatronics now, you know. Of course, that could be just for our locale where we're located at
Yeah.
cuz remember what was it 2015, 2016 when those clowns were
2016.
appearing? across the country.
2016.
Just it's just those random clowns.
Harambe died, and then the clowns came out.
Yeah, Harambe. That's when we entered the bad timeline. That's when we went
Yeah.
down the bad timeline.
Moving on from Harambe. I got one story. One thing is, I'm not a huge fan of scary stuff in general. Like, I'll watch people play horror games, which we can get into that genre in a little bit. But I wanted to talk about haunted houses first, which they used to do one every year in the neighboring town, and I always like could not do it. Like, I was terrified every single time when I was really little, so I avoided them like the plague. But I think it was junior year in high school. My sister and 5 of her friends were going to the haunted house, and I wanted to tag along. I was very scared too, but my sister was like, "Don't worry, we'll go together and we'll be good." So we got there, and they said you had to go in with groups of 3. My sister, her 5 friends, and me. 7 doesn't really equal 3.
That's not easily divisible by 3.
Guess
Seems the
who
math
got
isn't
left out
working.
of the group? And my sister felt really bad about it. Like, I'm not blaming her, but
I would. I feel like how
she
could you
she
do
was
this to me?
genuinely like upset for me because she knew that I was so afraid to even do it. I'm like, oh, like I could just wait in the car. But then I saw 2 of my classmates who I wasn't close with in the slightest, but I knew them.
People I know. People I
We-
know.
We had the class clown of my grade, and he was in the front, I was in the middle, and then we had a Korean student that was behind me. You know exactly who I'm talking about, Ian.
Is this
So-
the one from the bus? The one from baseball?
Nope, no, not foreign exchange.
Oh,
The person I graduated with, our only Korean.
oh, God. Okay.
Yep,
Nope.
okay.
Never mind. Yep.
Okay, we're good. So I had the class clown in front of me, which was probably the best. Basically, I put my hands on his shoulders, and then I had the guy behind me put his hands on my shoulders, and we just went in.
Make a train. We're going.
Because it was pitch black. You couldn't see anything, which I think is really stupid. Because at one point, we're feeling around, like someone's like scaring us, we can't see them, but like we're feeling around, we're like, we ended
How
up
am I supposed to
asking,
hear
where
it?
do we go? And he eventually said, left, go left. So like we had to feel our way around just plywood, trying to figure out which way to go. And then we got into the first room, and 2 girls came up, and the class clown was like, "Hey, how's it going?" It was 2 people in our grade, 2 girls in our grade. So like they're just BSing, just talking to each other. So it wasn't a scary room at all. And then it's like, okay, let's keep going.
On to the next one.
We ended up catching up to my sister and their groups, and there was a guy who was slowing them down because they were trying to speed through to get close to each other, but they didn't want that. So we caught up with them, but then this clown guy stopped all of us, waited for the group of 3, then my sister's group of 3 left, and then we had to wait. And it was we were the only 3 waiting until he would let us go. And then the class clown was like, "Hey," like just trying to talk to him like a normal human
what's
being,
up,
like we're
man?
not in a haunted house.
The-
And he's like, "Is your name Jeffrey?" And then the clown is like, "Is your name Jeffrey?"
It could be.
I think he said something like that. But then he eventually let us go. And then we got to the last room, which it was black lights, and there was a guy with a chainsaw chasing us, and we literally went just straight into the corner and hid. But there
Everybody
was
run
nowhere
in
to
the corner.
hide. So
Surely he won't see us if we all cower in this particular corner.
there were 5 doors, and like 4 of them were fake, one was real. And he just ended up telling us which door because I think he was so taken aback by we just went in the corner and didn't move. And then he chased us out. And then as soon as we ran out, Class Clown just starts asking him a bunch of questions like who he is, where he goes to school. Like, are you this person?
Oh,
Are you this person? And then the chainsaw guy was just shaking his head as he was going in.
I will figure out who you are. You guys basically did the PG equivalent of whenever you see in horror movies. People are like, quick, let's go hide in that shed. And they go in the shed and it's just full of like scythes and saws and
Oh,
hammers and tools. And
like that
you
one
guys are just like,
commercial.
yeah, just go hide in the
Should,
corner.
should we go in the car that's already started? No, let's go to the garage where all the chainsaws are.
Exactly. That's exactly what was going through my head when I thought of that. Oh man, I got drugged through a haunted house once down at Valley Scare, back when Valley Scare was, geared a little bit more towards the adults. And I was not a particular fan of that because, like I said, I don't do well with jump scares, especially if it's real people. Because an animatronic just goes boo and then it's done. But people go boo, I go and then they go found one. I'm gonna torment him. And so we are going through this haunted house and like went through a couple of scares or whatever, and I was like, okay, I don't like this. And so I pulled my hood over my head and cinched it up tight around my face because I was like, I want to just focus dead ahead and get out of this place because I don't like it. And I remember at one point one of the people who they're milling around the hallways trying to scare you, someone got up close, like right next to my ear, didn't yell, but just went right in my ear, right there when I couldn't see him because I had the hoodie was cinched up tight around my face. And I swear I've never jumped so hard in my life. And we finally made it out to the end of everything. And we get out of there, and there was a guy who was waiting at the outside for people to get out, and he's dressed up in the old farmer garb, and he's got a fake chainsaw that he's holding above his head and revving and all this and stuff like that. Well, we didn't see him right away when we got out because he was still like waiting to rev his chainsaw until he found a victim. And we got out and we stepped off to the side there to, I think we were waiting for another one of those groups that had somebody we knew in it or something. I don't remember the exact. It's been a while, and I'm an old man now. Give me a break. And I just know that the guy with the chainsaw comes up behind and taps me on the shoulder, and I'm like, "Oh, who's tapping me on the shoulder?" And I turn around and I just see right there, and I was like, nope, I'm out. And I was like, I told you guys it'd be a chainsaw. And this guy is good sport. He's like, I told you someone would run. And then he chased me with the freaking chainsaw. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to the snack bar over there and I'm gonna get some cheese curds and I'm gonna eat away my fear at this moment because I don't want to deal with this.
That's fair.
So I'm just not a big fan of the jump scares. I don't like horror movies. I don't seek out being scared as entertainment. It makes my heart hurt.
Yeah, for me, horror movies, I've watched some. I love bad horror movies. Bad horror movies are the best.
Yes, bad
Um,
horror movies are awesome.
for me, I know if I watch a scary movie, even if it might not scare me while I'm watching it, I know for 3 days I'm gonna be messed up at night. Just, it's always 3 days. I'm just terrified,
You get
and
the weird dreams.
yeah.
Things never quite. You always feel like, is someone watching me at this moment? I'll tell you this: one of my favorite bad horror movies to watch is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And I think recently,
Didn't they
God, what
like
was it?
revive it or
Yeah,
like make a
something.
new one? Because it got
Yeah,
big a year or two ago.
yeah, it got like revived or something brought attention to it, but the original one, and I watched this years ago, courtesy of a good friend of mine from my grade who was eccentric. Um, it's from like the 80s. I think it's from like the mid 80s, and it's called Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and it is hilariously bad because they just have like the most ridiculous gags. Like there's one part where for whatever reason, it's like dead midnight in this town or something, and all these people are waiting at this bus stop for the bus. And as far as I can tell, this is like a fairly quote unquote small town because like they have shots of them out in the woods and shots of like the downtown. It's not a busy city center. It looks like a small town. So well, one, why are all these people waiting for the bus at like midnight? There's no bus coming for you. But two, as they're sitting there waiting, one of the clowns like makes his way out, and there's like a light is casting towards the bus stop, and so he puts his hands in front of the light and starts like doing like the little shadow puppets on the wall, and all the people are standing there going, "Ooh, big shadow on the wall," and he's like, "Dude, oh, there's the bird, there's a little cat," and then he does this big T-Rex, and the T-Rex is like the size of the building, and the shadow of the T-Rex bends down and just eats everybody on the bus stop. They literally just show it from like this wide angle of the T-Rex mouth comes down, bites together, and all the people in like that old 1980s, movie VFX magic just get like squished in its mouth and then disappear, and he eats them, and you're just sitting there going, what even? The bus stop is like several feet in front of that building. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to question it.
I
Then
don't
there's
know.
another part. They're like hunting down these kids in the woods, and so they tie a dog out of like those balloons. They make a little balloon animal dog, and then they put it on the ground, and it starts sniffing out the kids. It's just so goofy. Oh, I love it.
I don't think I've really watched a horror movie that I'm like, I really want to watch that again. I've watched some like not great ones, like Would You Rather. The ending is terrible, which I've talked about in the movie Ian and I watched that he repressed. Ginger Dead Man 3 was a good bad horror movie. But there's some on Hulu I think I might watch this month. Like there's one that's called Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, and there's a sloth in it that's like putting his fingers together just menacingly in the background.
Doing that creepy sloth pose that they do.
Otherwise, scary video games or
I haven't played a lot of scary video games. That's not really. I think the only I have. Okay, I'm sorry, Joe, but I'm just now noticing that there's a cow floating in your background. I just
yeah.
so happened to glance up and see the cow, and that distracted me. I think
We've
the
been
only
doing this for over 100 episodes and first
just
time.
noticed shows how much I pay attention. No, I think the only scary video game I played was In the Park, which is a older one. It's like this mother loses her son or something at some amusement park, and then the story is like you are winding your way through this amusement park as the story unfolds itself, and like scary things happen around you. I don't remember a whole lot of it. I remember I thought it was like a decent game. It's one of those games that's more of like a cinematic storytelling experience rather than a game. Um, but I mean, I remember thinking like it wasn't bad. It wasn't fantastic, but I give it a meh out of 10. It's enough that I remember playing it, but I couldn't tell you what happened in it.
Yeah, I've played a handful myself. There's one I currently play is Phasmophobia, which is now like it will spook me from time to time, but I've played it so much, like it's usually more like I need to run, otherwise I'm gonna die. Like, and then all of the progress is just gone. But that one's my favorite. I've played Outlast, which is terrifying. I've played like 20 minutes of Resident Evil 7 because I had a panic attack before a lot of stuff even happened. When I recorded 4 years ago, that was one of the games I played. And then I did two a week, and I played a little bit of Alien Isolation and wasted 45 minutes looking for something that I passed twice.
That's
So
always
that one didn't go so well. I'm trying to think of the other ones. I played Amnesia, which was fun because I had people in the Discord call using soundboards to try and scare me on top of, and that was more just funny.
That'd be more jolting than anything. I'd always get scared by loud noises.
I'm trying to think of what else. I know there were 3 or 4 other ones I played that month.
White
Yes.
Noise. I remember playing White Noise at your place when we were kids. That game was
Thank you for
terrifying.
reminding me. It was basically Slenderman, but a little different. I beat that game. I did beat it.
Really?
Yeah, I beat it with a buddy of mine, and like you had to get the 10 whatever it was in that game, and he
Cassette
died
tape.
at like between 4 and 6. He died, and I survived the whole thing, got them all, and then you just like get eaten in the end anyway. But it was fun. I thought it was fun. Thought it was a fun game.
What a hell of an ending. I did it. I got them all. Do I get to escape? Nah, you die anyway. Oh, okay.
There's a few other ones like very indie type games. There's one when I was recording on my main channel, I got a Steam key for some developer's game that they made. I thought that was really cool. I got through the first part of it and then just got confused, so I stopped playing it. Maybe I should bring that back. It was funny because it's like you're supposed to go through this whole big house and like the lights will eventually go off. But the way I did it originally, like I went up to these different rooms and got fuses, but the lights weren't out. And on the last room that I entered, which was supposed to be the first room, the lights cut out. So all I had to do was just put the fuses in that room, change them, and the lights came back on right away.
Joe was like, oh no, homeownership inconvenience. I know how to fix this. Nothing scary happening here, just some home repair.
I thought it was a cute game and had some little things. He did patch it right after because there was I can't remember, there was like one track it would play repetitively as you're playing, and it's just got more annoying. Like I feel like if there was no music, it'd be freaky, like if you just heard your footsteps. But I thought it was a good game for getting a Steam key. Never got a Steam key before.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I think it's called Undiscovered House on Steam.
Undiscovered House. I'm gonna have to look that up. I know there's a few horror games that my girlfriend has told me that I need to play. And I'm like, I will die. Because I have
Which
a very literally anything that you've come across on like Xbox Marketplace or Steam. Like I have Five Nights at Freddy's VR. That
was one of the other games I played. I beat 2 nights on FNAF 1. That's as much as I was gonna do.
I play it on easy mode all the time because it is absolutely terrifying. The one that I hate the most is the maze one with Flaming Foxy, like hunting you down in the maze. And it's like when I load into the game, you can see the tremor in my hand because the anticipation kills me and I hate it. I hate it so much. I can't deal with it. And then when I hear the heavy thumps of the footsteps as they're running after you, it just scares the shit out of me and I can't do it. It's too
We should play
hard.
Lethal Company together.
Lethal Company.
I think that would be fun.
Now, the Lethal Company I can handy, but although I would love, so the one that I want is the Mimic mod. I feel like that one would be cool. The
one with the mask.
Skinwalker. The one where it can imitate your friends' voices.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's Mimic.
I've never seen the monster itself. I just know that it exists in the game.
Oh, it's just like one of those theater masks. Is all it is. And it's funny because you can put it on for like 2 seconds and it might not go, but other times you might just put it up to your face for a second and it'll go. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it, and sometimes it won't ever like consume you, but then there's the one time you put it on and just
And away it
immediately.
goes.
There's also a mod. I would mod it a lot.
Yeah.
There's one mod on it where every time you use like the horn or something like that you can like press, you have a 10% chance of it blowing up.
What's this mod called? Random grenade chance. What's that mean? Anytime you press it, there's a chance it just blows up in your hand like a grenade.
Yeah, I've seen
Uh,
people go back and forth like do the air horn once, throw it, air
hot
horn,
potato.
throw it, see who goes out first.
That game makes me laugh because sometimes it's just so mean for no reason. I've seen the one where like people go in and they turn around and there's like a landmine right by the door. It's like, oh no, I hope my friends don't come through the main door. Blows them to pieces immediately.
I think with our friend group, like that would be a real fun time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you guys want to see us play Lethal Company, let us know down below and maybe we could stream it or post a random video on it.
Guys can see me lose my mind. I don't handle horror games well at all.
I probably wouldn't either. Like, if we're running down the hall together, that would be fun. But as soon as you're gone, it's like, nope, can't do it. Get me out.
Help, come back. I need my handler. I need my helper. I can't be left alone. Like a little kid lost in Walmart. Go up to the service desk. Can you find my mom? The monster's just looking at you. Okay, I gotta get this guy out of here. I can't kill him. It's gonna make me feel bad.
I don't know if you got anything more on Halloween or scary stuff, but
I do not. I'm fizzled out. I don't do scary, man. I don't. You know what my opinions are on scary? Bad. I don't like being scared. Scare other people. Don't scare me. Which is exactly the thing you say if you want people to scare you, because you know the ones who are scared of being scared are the ones that are the most fun to scare. It's a hard knock life for us scaredy cats over here. Shaking in my boots.
There's one lady at work that gets scared super easy. So there's a couple guys who will go up to her when she's least suspecting and just like yell right behind her. You can hear her, like, sometimes you'll just randomly hear her scream at work. I'm like, oh, one of the guys got
her. Someone scared her.
But thank you for BSing with us today. Subscribe to become a bud today. Stay safe during Halloween. We'll see you next time when you are overloaded on candy, hopefully.
And don't forget to do the Thriller while you're out there, you know. That's all I got. Can't wait to get some of that candy corn. But until then, take her easy now.